today. I'm very excited to have Jake McDonough speaking today. Jake attended Valley High School in West Des Moines and was noted for many accolades in all-conference teams. He then attended Iowa State as a defensive lineman and was selected to the Phil Steele's College Football Preview 2012 Second Team All-Big 12. Which is an amazing feat considering the number of allergies and illnesses he battled back from during his time in college, which caused him to lose on upwards of 70 pounds. While at Iowa State, Jake finished with 89 tackles, 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and appeared in 3 college bowl games. Other honors include the Iowa State Defensive Lineman of the Year, the All-Big 12 First Team, All-Big 12 Honorable Mention, and the Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year Honorable Mention. Also, Jake's teammates awarded him with the Arthur Floyd Scott Defensive Lineman of the Year Award. In February, Jake put up 37 reps on the 225-pound bar at the Pro Day, ranking him second overall at the NFL Combine. After graduating from Iowa State with a degree in exercise science, Jake signed with the Jets and later injured his hamstring. While Jake is tending to his injury, he continues to train here at the Boone County YMCA. During his time with us at the Y, Jake is taking time to mentor the kids after school, role model proper training techniques in the weight room, and is implementing new programming. Would you guys join me in welcoming Jake McDonough?
Thank you guys for coming out. And why don't we give a big round of applause to Michaela and the rest of the Y staff. They put this event on, and it wouldn't be possible without them. But yeah, I started my career of football and even basketball in a Y, just like this, when I was younger. And to this day, I attest starting young. Like you guys are, playing basketball, big dreams. It started when I was young, and it's been a long road. I haven't always had the best uprising, but I stuck to it, and I've been through a lot of trials. It started when I was 3. My parents and family, I declared that I was going to play in the NFL when I was 3 years old. And of course, 3 years old, they look at you like you're crazy. But I grew up always telling them the whole way I would play football by myself out in the yard with the little fake football pads that they have in the stores. And I just always wanted to play football, always wanted to be involved in sports and compete. And I didn't really start football until 4th grade, and I was in youth YMCA down in Des Moines at the Walnut Creek Y, and they had me playing every position, which I was a quarterback, which, let's be honest, I'm not a quarterback. I'm far from it, to say the least. They had me playing defense. I was a safety, and then the bigger I got, the closer to the ball I got, and I moved down to offensive line and defensive line when I was in 6th grade, and then I started getting bigger and bigger. I was always bigger than most of the kids in my class, but when I got to middle school, I was actually homeschooled from 4th grade to 5th grade, and I kind of taught myself because my parents traveled a lot with my dad's work, and I decided why not pick up a musical talent, and that's when I started playing the violin. And I ended up winning the violin Olympics for the Midwest, which was a little known fact about me that only you guys pretty much know about. And yeah, I always wanted to be involved in something because I thought that was very important to keep me busy. I'm an only child, so I didn't really have any brothers or sisters to play with. And I thought that, you know, keeping myself busy would keep me out of trouble. And sure enough, it did. I got to 9th grade, that's when I started really hitting my growth spurt. Played my first varsity game as a freshman at Valley High School, just down the road. And scored a touchdown my second play in as a defensive end. It was unreal. Remember it to this day. And I've always been doubted. And that kind of is what you see on that poster, that flyer. Never doubt what you can become, because you can become anything you want to become. If you put your mind to it, and if you actually work for it. And that's one thing that I take pride in. I always work for what I want to get. Such as when I got to high school, I had 2 surgeries on my mouth. I had all 4 of my wisdom teeth pulled, and I also had tongue surgery. So at that time, I missed 6 weeks of school. And I ended up having to make up a bunch of classwork. Well, I had a teacher that wasn't very supportive, and I ended up failing 1 class. So I had to sit out 5 games my senior year. It was unreal. We tried to fight it and didn't end up winning. So I ended up having to sit out 5 games. Well, those 5 games cost me All-American status as a senior and numerous scholarships. And I wasn't very happy about it, and my coach, he kind of told me, at this rate, you're not going to play Division I football. It's like, that's my dream. I want to play Division I football because it's all I know how to do. I play football, you know, I take pride in playing football. But, you know, to have your head coach tell you, you're probably not going to make a Division I team at this rate, hurts, cuts me deep. I took that and, you know, I buried it deep inside me, and I used it for fuel that year. I ended up coming back the remainder of the season. I had 18 sacks in my senior year. I think it was 89 tackles. I was everywhere on the field. I took pride in just flying to the ball. I outworked everyone on my team. That was my goal. I didn't want to be known for not. There we go. I didn't want to be known for taking a play off. That wasn't me. So my senior year, I proved my coach wrong and signed with Iowa State University. At the time, Coach Chizik was my coach. As you probably know, if you're familiar with that, he ended up leaving our program and went down to Auburn and won a national championship. Of course, all of us were a little bitter about that, but what can you do? It's business. But Coach Rhodes came in. That was the winter of my freshman year. And that's when I started getting sick. I was sick with quite a number of things. And like Michaela said, I lost about 70 pounds. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I was accused of being on drugs, which I've never touched one in my life. I was hated by some of the teammates that I was with. They thought I was not all in, as we like to say. They tried to get me kicked off the Iowa State football team, and another setback. I was sick I had parasite, gallstones, and I also had a food allergy. Food allergy like a gluten intolerance and as well as lactose intolerance. So I had to quit drinking milk, which was my favorite thing, and couldn't eat because gluten is in a lot of different things. So I was having a bowl of cereal every day before practice, and I would get sick and not know why. And nobody knew what was going on with me. Finally, I decided I'd go down to Des Moines and check a different doctor, and finally he figured out what was going on. And I brought the information back to the training staff and coaches, and they said, well, I'm sure it had something to do with your mental toughness. You know, they tried brushing it off as something else. Well, I took that again, buried it inside, and used it as fuel. And my defensive line coach said I'd never play a snap at Iowa State, and ended up saying, you know, if it were up to him, he would have had me off the team a long time ago. Because I understand where he's coming from, and the fact that I was missing practices, I was missing time in the weight room, but I was sick. There was nothing I could do about it. But, you know, I understand he's frustrated, but at the same time, I didn't understand, you know, why he was doing this to me, why he had to be so hard on me. But I fought back. That's all I know how to do, is just keep working, keep grinding. And I ended up coming back, played later that year, my redshirt freshman year, against Oklahoma State. That was my first game. And let me tell you, we had just got done with the biggest leg workout I've ever done. I was so sore. And they told me, Jake, get ready, loosen up and go in. Second quarter. Looking around frantically. Start doing some warm-up, jogging around, trying to loosen my legs up. And, you know, the dead leg feeling isn't very good. Stepped on the field, ended up making 3 tackles that game. Then, you know, still fighting with my coach. He didn't trust me. He didn't end up playing me the rest of the year. And moving on, I ended up fighting back and made all Big 12 honors, and finally earned the respect of my coaches and teammates, and getting that award. I think the biggest award that I got was the Defensive Lineman of the Year award by my teammates, and I think that meant the most to me because I had battled so hard to earn their respect, and I just never say die. And I never quit anything I do. And after the season, I trained really hard and ended up doing really well at my pro day. I didn't get any invitations or anything like that to any of the combine or any of the pro day, or the games, the all-star games. But I took that into, you know, as another thing I have to battle through. Ended up getting picked up by the Jets. Things were going great. Was moving up the depth chart at a few of their mini camps, and ended up being second string at the Jets for a while. And as soon as I got back, we were just about to leave to upstate New York, and it was just a week before our first preseason game. I ended up pulling my hamstring, which, if you guys have ever pulled your hamstring, it's not a very good feeling. Feels like you just get shot in the back of the leg when you're running. It's like a sniper gets you. It's not the best feeling. But after that injury, I continued to keep training, and you know, I strive every day. Like I said, never doubt what you can become, because I started right where you guys are, right here in the front. You know, I looked up to guys that would come and hang out with us. Like, we had guys at my elementary school who, even in high school, the starting quarterback came to our high school. And it's just a high school kid. I thought that was amazing. That's stuff that I hung on to each and every word that guy said, because I wanted to be the greatest. I wanted to be not with the greatest, I wanted to be better than that. I wanted to be the best. And I fight every day, even now, training as hard as I can here here at the Boone Y. You know, I'm giving it everything I have to be someday back in New York or wherever it might be, so that I can continue my dream playing in the NFL. And while I'm here, I hope to at least touch some of you guys, help you guys in any way I can. And I'm really glad that I can be here. And I'm glad you guys came out to support me. Thank you, guys.
Does anybody have any questions for Jake? Right here. Do you still play music? Do you still play an instrument?
Well, I haven't touched the violin in a while since it broke. But I do, in fact, make music still. I taught myself how to play a little bit of piano. And I also make music for hip-hop artists. I make the instrumentals for them. A guy out of Kansas City, we actually did a song for the Iowa State football team. And it's pretty big. It turned out really well. Yeah, I love music. It's actually something that keeps me calm, and like when I get stressed out or something, I just go make music, and you know, it's my stress reliever.
How much do you make for your test?
Well, being a rookie, we have a salary that is designated through the CBA, which is the collective bargaining agreement. All rookies make the same, so I would make the same as a first-round pick guy. $405,000 is the minimum for a rookie, and after their rookie contract, they can then go up.
Wait.
305 pounds.
Jake, why don't you tell us? Okay, go ahead, Joel. Sorry.
Who was your, like, one of your favorite role models that like?
My favorite role model is actually a Chicago Bear player. You guys are probably too young for it, but Walter Payton, he's a running back that passed away when he was 45. You know, I studied his film. His work ethic is second to none. He has a hill named after him. That's, you know, he was named Sweetness, and he had this hill that they said it was Sweetness's Hill, and he would run that almost every day, and no one could even come close to his records on that hill. So.
DJ, who's your favorite player on the Jets?
My favorite player on the Jets. I'd say Muhammad Wilkerson. He's the guy who was ahead of me. He's an all-pro defensive end. He took me under his wing while I was out there, and he taught me how to become a better defensive end.
Right down here in front.
Yes. How many reps do I do a day? Plenty. Talk to me afterwards and I'll hook you up. My personal records? Well, I'd like to retest my scores as far as bench press, squat, and stuff like that, because they've gone up. I'm a lot stronger than I have been. And my original bench was 465, around there. And my squat was 585. And I power cleaned, I think it was 340. That's the three main lifts that we tested.
Jake, why don't you share how much you had on the leg press today?
So, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but downstairs they have a leg press machine. And it only holds 10 total plates on each side. And I had to add a few more pounds on it because I needed to exert a little more energy. So I had over 1,000 pounds on the weight rack today. filled all 10 plates on each side. Then I would put weights on top of the leg press machine just to add a little bit more.
Whoa.
Next, we're gonna start putting kids on top.
Yeah.
All right, does anybody else have any questions? Right here, Chuck.
What would you say to all these kids that are like, how do you pay for time for sports in school?
That's a really good question because, and I've told the kids before, school is really important. You need to focus on your school more than you need your athletics because nowadays coaches look at your your academics more than your athletics. They got to know that you're reliable enough in the classroom because, as I said in my speech, I was out 4 or 5 games my senior year because of academics, and there's nothing I can do about it. So if you want to play, you have to pass your classes. And coaches won't put up with it, especially if you want to be a collegiate athlete, Division I player. You have to take care of business in the classroom because they want you to get your degree. And I take pride because I finished my degree in the 5 years that I was there. So yes, academics takes precedence over athletics every day.
How was it like for playing for football?
Paul Rose, yeah, you can tell he's a passionate coach. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, and sometimes that can get him in trouble, but at the same time, you'll get those great speeches like you do against Oklahoma State, Nebraska, and even just recently, even though the team lost, he still had a great speech, I should say rant, after the Texas game. He's second to none in that aspect. He's very passionate about the game, and he's easy to play for. Practices were really tough though.
Right down here, front.
Yes, Brett.
What's your least favorite player on your
My least favorite player? Nobody. I like everyone the same. Which coach? Rex Ryan? He was probably one of the coolest coaches. He's super funny. Probably. He's pretty funny. Yeah.
What size shoes do you wear?
14s.
You wear the same size as my brother.
How old's your brother?
14.
He's gonna be a tall kid, huh? Yeah.
When do you think you're going to be able to play?
I can play it any time right now, just waiting on my turn. Yeah, somebody has to get hurt. It's a rude business.